Hey guys, it is Oogie. I have returned and I'm back with another video. So this week I really wanted to talk about horror movies because I am starting to get back into them. I was never really like a true diehard fan, but I want to educate myself on the different franchises and basically just how horror movies are made, the graphics, stuff like that, all that good stuff. I just want to immerse myself in pop culture as much as possible. And I am starting to really like horror movies. Like, I've always liked horror movies, I've always liked creepy shit, but not like how I do now. So, and also, I obviously study animes and I study Avatar and I study the production of those kinds of projects. So I was like, all right, let's add horror movies to my list. I just really want to be educated in, horror movie core or whatever you would call it. So yeah, let's get into it. So recently we got HBO, yay, thank goodness. So I have been going on a horror movie binge lately. Oh, it's not Halloween. I don't care, okay? All my other horror movie fans will understand. So I recently watched like the second to last Scream movie. I watched I rewatched Sinister, and obviously, I already am familiar with the franchises, the Chucky series, the Freddy Krueger series, Pennywise, all of them, right? So, and they're always popping up on my feed because, like I said, I'm a fan. So I'm just like, oh, okay. And I wanted to make it a goal and just make it known for myself that I want to start watching more horror movies just as a whole in general. Like I think I've said this in a past video. I can't just watch something now. I have to be like, oh yeah, okay, so that's horrible CGI. Oh, I wonder how much time it took to do that person's makeup. Like, I can't just sit and watch a film, right? So I try to like really strive for something that I can just watch peacefully without having to overanalyze anything. And but so far, other than Sinister and yeah, pretty much Sinister so far, as far as me like, getting back into the horror movie world, I haven't really found anything. Like, I've seen the Chucky series so many times. I've seen basically like the big boys of horror movie franchises I've seen so many times. But also I watched Leatherface, the origin story of his, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I recently watched the newest Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Well, was it the newest one? It was the one with Alexandra. I can't pronounce her last name. I don't even want to try because I don't want to butcher her last name. But it was the one with her. She also plays in Baywatch. She plays in a bunch of different films. I'm pretty sure you guys know her. Yeah, so I watched that one, and then I watched Leatherface, which was supposed to be his origin story. Good movie, by the way. I know some people, like, if it's not the original, a lot of people don't like it. After watching the Scream movie, it made me realize, like, oh my god, yeah, okay. Yeah, that Scream movie with Jenna Ortega and stuff like that. I really wanted to just, like, that really set me off. Like, before I really wanted to, but after seeing that movie I was like, okay, I want to become a person that's very knowledgeable on horror movies. So now I went down this rabbit hole and now we're here. And I have some thoughts about horror movies from back then and horror movies how they are now. And I talk about this with my family, but they're not as passionate about this stuff as I am, so they don't really get it. They just kind of agree with me and they're like, yeah, oh, okay, yeah. And I'm like, whatever. So I'm like, okay, this is going on the podcast for sure. So now we're here. I also just want to clarify, I know other streaming services have horror movies and stuff like that, but I feel like HBO has like a really good selection. I want to say better than the other ones because Hulu, like, I'm not even gonna lie, Hulu sucks, okay? And then Netflix, like, yeah, they have some new stuff, but I mean, it doesn't really match up with the other ones, and I don't know, Netflix, like, it's good, but it's not great, you know what I'm saying? And we have other streaming services too, but I feel like just none of them, the selection those ones have doesn't compare to HBO. Like, I feel like HBO has the best selection when it comes to that. Anyways, while going on my horror movie binge, I guess you could say, I started getting suggestions of horror movies from the early 2000s. Now, oh my gosh, okay. Let me gather my thoughts because I don't want to get ahead of myself because my brain is going like a million miles per hour right now. Okay, so I got suggested One Missed Call, and then that led us to watching Mirrors, and then I also watched some other ones from the early 2000s. And I just want to say, they have potential. Like Mirrors, for what it is, I think Mirrors was ahead of its time, honestly. And I love that movie. It was so good. The twist at the end, like I'm not gonna spoil anything. So yeah, just don't worry about that, okay? I'm not gonna spoil anything, I promise. I'm just talking about the overall like general stuff here. So Mirrors, very good horror movie. I'm sure many of you have seen it. I'm sure many of you have not seen it. So I mean, I'm pretty sure most of my viewers have not seen that one, just considering your guys' age range, like, so yeah, I would advise you guys to go watch it. Yes, it's old, okay, it's aged a bit, but just because something is old doesn't mean it's not good, okay, guys? So yeah, I would advise you guys to go watch it. Anyways, so watching that movie really made me, like, I watched One Miss Call and then I watched Mirrors. So watching these movies, and I've seen other ones, like from the early 2000s, like Case 39, super good movie, okay? And I noticed a pattern. The plots are really good. The characters, well written. It's just the graphics that get me. And I'm not blaming anybody, okay? I'm not blaming anybody, all right? I'm just, back then, I know obviously technology wasn't as advanced as it is now. I mean, look at the Marvel series. Look how much budget they have. Look how much effort goes into the making of those, Like Thor, Love, God, and Thunder. At that scene where he's asking Zeus for help, beautiful graphics. Like, I feel like movies nowadays are just so focused on looking pretty, and they completely just kind of ignore the plot. They're like, oh, let's just throw something together, especially when it comes to kids shows and kids series. Like, everything, like, they just want to make it look pretty. And like, for example, the Matilda movie. I'm going off topic. It'll just be for a brief second, okay? I promise you. But I noted, like, kids' movies, just everything coming out, or everything that has come out since maybe, I want to say, 2016. Maybe even, maybe like 2018. Ever since then, 2016. Between 2016 and 2018, I noticed things started just to be like, let's make it pretty. Let's not really, and throw in some montages and throw in some musicals. Like, they're not really focused on the plot. They're not really focused on just what really makes a good movie/show. I feel like it's just to get your attention. And honestly, I could go on about that, but I'm going to cut it off there because I don't really want to get into it. That can be a topic for another video. So basically, I noticed a pattern with these movies, and that, like I said, it's the graphics that aren't that great. Obviously, because technology back then wasn't as advanced as it is now. Yes, I know all this. But I feel like if they remade those, I don't want to say classics because they're not really classics, they're not really that well known, but if they remade movies from the early 2000s with the tech we have now, those would be absolute bangers, okay? Because think about it. Mirrors graphics, good, okay? Really good for the time, all right? I absolutely 100% love that movie. Like I said, if we take the same movie, take the same plot, don't change anything about it, but update the tech, update the graphics, like how we have movies now. Absolute game changer, okay? And you don't have to change anything. Don't fix something that's not broken. Just fix the broken part, okay? Not everything's broken. The plot, good. Characters, well written, okay? Keep that. But update the technology. Update the graphics. That's all I'm saying here. Obviously, the network is not going to listen. It never does. But, yeah, like, let me know if you guys agree. Let me know if you guys disagree, okay? And we keep getting remakes. We keep getting all this other stuff that is just really... I get that they have to remake it. It feels like almost every 10, 20 years we get a remake of something. And I understand that that has to be done. But sometimes they go off the rails and they change so much. And it's just like, the fans don't want that. The fans really don't. And like, it makes them angry, So I'm just like, if they just did this one thing, I feel like that would be absolutely awesome. Because we all know this. When somebody, not even just with horror movies, like in general, when somebody remakes something, they have to change like a major part of the series or movie or whatever. And it's like, why? Why do you do that? Why not just keep it the same? Like, don't don't mess with it. Just update the graphics. Just update whatever needs to be updated. Okay? Don't change everything. In some cases, you don't even have to touch it at all. Like, just leave it alone. Leave its greatness alone. Let it age. Let it be a classic. We don't have to remake everything. But obviously, I know they're just doing it sometimes for a quick cash grab, and that's all they want out of it. They don't care about giving us a good film or whatever it is. So, yes, I understand this. Don't worry. I am very aware, okay? I feel like if they did that, it would be so much better. It would be a better world, you know? Like, it's the same thing with every movie I see from the early 2000s. Like, I want to say between late 90s, maybe even mid 90s, all the way up until I want to say maybe let's do 2010, maybe even 2012. If we took horror movies that aren't really that popular, or even take the ones that are popular, shit, take them all, and updated the graphics, updated the tech, they would be absolute bangers, and they would actually be quite enjoyable to watch. Because when you are watching something and the graphics are just shit, it makes it unwatchable. At least for me it does. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree with that. But if the graphics just look awful, or if like like, for example, I tried watching Terrifier, okay? I just could not do it. I think I left that movie off halfway. But anyways, I tried watching it, but I couldn't get through it because they, like, the saturation, they put it all the way up, okay? They turned it all the way up, and I was like, bro, why does this lady look like almost orange? And I get why, because, you know, like I said, they're trying to make it look pretty, I guess. Actually, with that one, I don't even know why they did that. I really don't. But they put the saturation, they blew that shit up, okay? And the graphics, like, I read the reviews, and a lot of people were saying it's good. It's a good movie. And I was like, bro, this is, maybe that's why I want to educate myself. Maybe I'm missing something from this, you know? Maybe I am. Maybe the problem is me, okay? I'll admit that. Maybe the problem is me. But I'm like, I just don't get this. Like, because I wanted to find the most disturbing movies I could, and I wanted just to find, like, movies, like, I just really have been on the hunt for something to really scare me, to really terrify me. Don't ask me why, okay? I think it has something to do with, like, something similar to do with the same science as, oh, I'm sad, let me listen to sad music to make myself even sadder. Or let me find, like, for all my anime enjoyers, I know I'm not the only one when I say this. When I get into that depressed mode or depressed feeling, I'm like, let me find a sad anime to make me sadder, you know? So, by the way, my go-tos are Violet Evergarden and Banana Fish. I highly recommend those if you are just feeling so sad and want to make it worse. All right, anyways, no, please, that was a joke, not really. But anyways, please take care of yourself. Yeah, quick little PSA here. Please take care of yourself. Do good things for yourself. All right, self-care is very important. I do self-care on the daily. You can't do that shit like once every blue moon, okay? It's not a band-aid. All right, you got to keep up with it. Anyways, okay, back to the topic of this video. So yeah, maybe I'm missing something when it comes to these cheesy, just under budget films, cuz I also watched Clown recently, and it was the one where he, like, finds clown skin, shall we say, and he wears it, and it makes him, like, do all this other crazy stuff for his kid's birthday party. So yeah, I watched that one, and the graphic of the clown itself, like, of, you know, the creature in that movie, so good, okay? It was actually good. But the killing scenes were just awful. Like, it looked like they went to Party City and just got some fake bones that didn't even look real. Like, it looks like, you know, the plastic food that little kids try to give you, like, they make you in the fake kitchen, and they give you it, and you're like, I love plastic fake food. So good. Like, it looked like that. And I'm like, bro, what is this? Like, if the killing scenes actually looked good, if they actually looked semi-realistic, it would have been a better film all around. It would have been. Like, the plot was good, okay? Characters, they were a little, you know, what's the word? The characters were a little plain, you know, they were a little too cliche, too one-dimensional. There we go, perfect. That was the word I was looking for. one dimensional. But the plot, good. If it just had better graphics, if it just had better graphics, it would have been a more better film, in my opinion. And also, this confuses me because, like, nowadays, when we get remakes, like, the best example I can think of is the Chucky series. We've seen the remakes of Chucky, and it seems like it's going downhill when it should be going uphill. Like, have you seen the Chucky dolls as they are changing throughout time? I'm just like, ew, bro, what is that? Like, that's nasty. Also, fun fact about the Chucky series, I can't remember if it's part two or part two. Yes, it is part two. Part two, we were supposed to have multiple Chuckies, but something happened and that idea was canceled out. It wasn't able to happen. But yeah, there was the idea that there were supposed to be multiple Chuckies. And I thought that would have been really cool, but of course, we can't get everything we want, and they weren't able to do it for some reason. I can't remember the reason. If you remember the reason, please comment it down below. Anyways, yeah, just a little fun fact. And it's stuff like that little fun fact I just shared. It's stuff like that I want to know. I want to immerse myself in the horror movie culture, okay? I want to know these things. I just find it really impressive, really cool, and I just want to be more knowledgeable about this stuff, all right? I like it. I also just want to rant about this real quick. So, I feel like Sinister is a very underrated horror movie film. Wait, what? Film. Jesus, if I can talk. Okay. So yeah, I rewatched Sinister today and I really, really liked it. And even back when I first watched it, I was like, oh my God, I love this movie. Like, it genuinely did scare me. Really did scare me. Like, I could not sleep for the next couple of days, I think. At least not with the light off. So yeah, but I really like Sinister. The graphics were good, very nicely filmed, and the plot was good, okay? Like, we actually got all parts of the story we needed. The origin story, how the creature in the movie started, stuff like that, what it is. And just overall, so good of a movie. And also, Sinister has a part 2. I love part 2. I feel like it's only one of the series that actually has a good part 2, because we all know sequels are not the greatest thing ever, okay? Like, a lot of them suck ass. So this one with Sinister, amazing movies, both of them, parts 1 and part 2, okay? Part 2 focuses on a different perspective, which I really, really like. We get an insight on how the kids feel when they're going through that and what they see, and we get just a look behind the curtain of their world, like backstage VIP passes, you know what I'm saying? And it was just so good. Like, it's great. It's not available on HBO, unfortunately. I would have to find it. I do have other access to other services too, like Tubi, Freevee, all that stuff. So I'm gonna go to Google, see where I can find it, whatever. But anyways, yeah, I really, really liked Sinister 1, Sinister 2. Both very good movies, different perspectives, very nicely filmed, well-written characters, just overall very good movies. If you haven't seen those, I highly recommend that you do, obviously. I've seen The Babadook, which I really, really like, by the way, okay? I know. Oogie, you sound just like Jenna Ortega in the Scream film. I know, okay? But it's really, really good, alright? I like it a lot. And I watched that one with my friends, and we all, like, had a really nice time watching it. It was fun. And we were, like, really into it, too. That was way back before I started doing any of this stuff. It was where I actually could watch a film and enjoy it. So, almost forgot to mention, I have also seen The Human Centipede Part 3, and I recently watched Tusk. And I also tried watching Hereditary, but it lost me, like, the last 40 minutes. It turned into something else, and I was like, what? I didn't really like that one. The Human Centipede, so I want to watch parts 1 and 2, but I wanted to watch part 1, obviously, that's what you're supposed to do, watch the first one, but it wasn't available anywhere, and so I tried looking up part 2, seeing where that one was available, couldn't find it, and I watched part 3. I did find that one. It's available on Tubi if you want to see it, which I don't recommend you do, not because it's disturbing or scary or anything like that, but because it's stupid. I did look at reviews before I watched it, and I still wanted to watch it just to say that I could watch it, so yeah, but I don't recommend watching that one. Obviously, I don't know if I recommend watching that series at all, to be honest with you. But anyways, let's see, what else did I say? Tusk. Yes, I liked. Did I like Tusk? I don't know. I liked its weirdness. I heard, that one was very weird and disturbing. And so, yeah, I watched it. I got that recommendation from It's Blanco on Instagram. Yeah, he does like the most disturbing movies of all time series. And that's where I got The Human Centipede as part 3 from, and that's where I got Tusk from. Yeah, so I watched Tusk. I liked its weirdness. It wasn't necessarily a good film. It was filmed in a different way, which was kind of weird, but I liked it, added to the weirdness. So I liked the weirdness. I don't know. I was looking for something weird, disturbing, different, and I really liked it. So I liked that aspect of it, is all I'm trying to say. Also, it has Johnny Depp in it, so do with that information what you will. I mostly watched those just so I could say, yeah, I've seen those. So, yeah, I don't necessarily recommend them, but if you are wanting to watch something different, disturbing, and or scary, then yeah, go ahead. I don't know if this one counts as a horror movie, but I also watched The Menu. I highly recommend that one. If you're looking for something different, if you're looking for like if you're tired of just seeing the same thing over and over again, I highly recommend that one. The way it's filmed, the way like the plot, so good. Like I was actually into that one and I wasn't thinking about production or anything like that. I really liked that one. It was different. I was looking for something different, at the time. So, yeah, I highly recommend that one too. Also, Before I Wake is a really good one. I think that one's still available on Netflix. I really, really, really like that one too. That one had such like, oh, beautiful. Okay. I like that one a lot. I haven't seen a lot of the popular, like Silence of the Lambs, well, other ones, Children of the Corn, like those ones I haven't really seen. And sorry about that. I'm trying to catch up on my lore, okay? I really am, as you can hear. So yeah, before I start ranting and going on about like other horror movies that I have seen and have not seen, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video there, alright? So yeah, if you enjoyed, like, subscribe, hit that bell icon, okay? Comment down below some horror movie comment down anything about horror movies, fun facts, recommendations, stuff that you didn't like. Just comment below if you agree with me or not. Anyways, that's it from me for this week, and I hope you all enjoyed. Alright, bye guys.